right, so I have with me at the interview series Kendal from Colorado, that is?
That is correct. Denver, Colorado.
Wonderful. And it's your first time in Montreal?
It is my first time in Montreal. What a beautiful city you guys have here.
Yes, wonderful.
I've really enjoyed taking walks, and I want to thank you so much for inviting me to LangFest. What a great opportunity.
Well, we're happy to have you here as a participant. And so tell me, how did you get interested in this language things?
Well, language for me was a survival skill. I came to America when I was 13, and I was all alone, and I did not have any English skills. And I discovered the importance of communication. I realized that without communication, it's almost like having a disability. You can't communicate with people, you can't express yourself, you can't express your feelings and your queries. And so that's how I got involved with the importance of language.
All right, and now you have this app, I guess, Lingo what?
It's actually on the internet,
Okay.
and it is not an app. You can access it whenever you have internet access.
So a website?
It is a website, correct. And Lingo Hut came about in 2012 when my partner and I decided that it was a really good idea to help folks that have lower social economics and education to give an opportunity to succeed more in their culture. Such as, and I'll give you an example, when we were in Nicaragua, I had met a few people that were vendors, and those are the people I kind of cater to vendors that are trying to improve their lives, or a refugee that's moving to a new culture that just needs the basics and beginnings of pronunciation and articulation of words. So it's not the solution to learn every language, but it gives you a really good start. And when I was in Nicaragua, and I went to Nicaragua, I gave my card to this vendor, and about 7 months later, I get a call from him, actually an email, excuse me, and he wrote me in Spanish. Spanish es mi primer idioma, and me dijo que he told me that his life had improved so much because he was able to speak to foreigners that were coming in and sell his products by just knowing 10 to 30 words in the language that the tourist speaks, and that had increased his revenue hugely. And that's what it's all about. Lingo Hut is to help improve people's lives.
Wonderful. And how is it important to you as someone who immigrated from the States to kind of like give that help that I suppose you wish you had at the time, and to give that sort of help to the vendors or the people who wish to have that extra hand? It's a complicated question, I suppose. It's open-ended, but
yeah. Can you rephrase it a little bit? I'm not sure what you're trying to get to.
I guess I'm saying what makes you...
What made me tick and what made me do this?
Yes.
My personal experience. When you're 13 years old and you go to a new country by yourself, and you live with a family you don't know, and you can't communicate with them, it's very scary. And globally, you see a lot of people struggling that are refugees going to different areas. Right now, we're seeing Syrians moving, immigrating to all different parts of the world. And so our Arabic is Syrian Arabic, helping the Syrians that move to Turkey to give them the opportunity to learn the basics of Turkey. Or they might move to Germany and they need the basics. Like I said, if you don't have communication, it's just paralyzing.
So tell me, does Lingo Hut function in how many languages for?
Right now we present in 50 languages, and
50,
we teach 12.
Okay.
And it is very basic communication, such as where's the embassy, or how can I get my papers and documentations. It's very catered to people that are moving to a new culture, like I said, or trying to improve their lives within their own culture.
Wonderful. Well, Kendal, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with me today. So it's on lingohut.com?
It's lingohut.com. I did want to say a couple things. One thing is that To learn a language, you really have to have a methodology and a way of doing it. And in Lingo Hut, we put the BAC approach, which is a visual, auditory, kinesthetic approach, giving the opportunity for the learner to listen to the words, read the words, and then be able to write the words. That's very important because each one of us are different learners. The other technique that we included on Lingo Hut was the drip feed approach. Are you familiar with that?
I'm not.
Great. So
explain it to her.
Absolutely. The drip feed approach, think of a faucet that's dripping one drop at a time, and each drop is a word. And as you start gaining the knowledge of single words, you start forming phrases, and that phrase becomes a small puddle. Eventually, you have a large lake of words and knowledge of the language, giving you that opportunity to communicate with confidence. It's all about building the confidence in the students to communicate.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with me today.
Thank you, Leo. I really appreciate it.
I hope you appreciate your time here at LangFest in Montreal.
Excellent. Thank you very much.